Hey guys, good night. Well, nighttime here. I want to do a short video here right before we get ready to eat on the Mustang. Update you, let you know what I did today. Yeah, I'm in a better mood today. I decided, instead of killing myself today on this engine, I decided to kind of clean up the shop a little bit. Kind of basically just went through everywhere and cleaned it up. Made sure all my surfaces and my floor was clean and everything else. Before I go any further, I cannot stand working in a dirty space, that's for sure. So after I vigorously cleaned in here for most of the day in between work, I kind of started getting busy in here, and I finished putting in the last bolt in the bottom of the oil pan. And then I actually mounted my low car. You can see it there. Kind of dark in here, but that's my low car transmission dipstick. And it's stainless steel braided, which is really cool, and I mounted it to the firewall, and that's the little area where you pull it out. I mounted that in the transmission. What else did I do? I also, while I was under the car, I had taken some bolts out of the bottoms of the Prothane motor mounts to get the oil pan in. I put those back in. Those were a royal pain. But I wanted to talk about something that I've kind of noticed as I'm kind of reworking this engine here, and that's the proper usage of sealant. You'll notice just at first glance on this intake manifold, it just looks shiny and, you know, whatever, it's normal. But if you look over here, you can kind of see it's a little bit yellow. Kind of see that, where it's kind of not yellow here and it's kind of yellow here. There's actually some oil that's accumulated at the top front of this intake manifold bolt here. That's a nitrous solenoid, fuel solenoid, but right here, that bolt is leaking. And when I installed this intake manifold, I didn't use any thread sealer on these bolts because when I had talked to Edelbrock, they actually advised against it. They said to just, you know, use the gasket and use their bolts and put it in. Well, lesson learned, right? I mean, obviously, if oil's gonna, you know, if oil's in the engine and obviously the gasket's not leaking itself, but it's actually getting around the threads and kind of coming out right here at this washer. So I just want to stress the importance of using proper sealer where you need to use it, and also, you know, following torque specifications to a T. And a lot of my videos, I've gotten some, you know, some heat for using an extension when you get a torque reading, which you're absolutely correct. You shouldn't use an extension. You need to have direct torque from the ratchet into the socket, into the bolt. So what I'm gonna do before I go any farther here is I'm gonna go ahead and very carefully remove each one of these bolts and apply the proper sealant. I'll probably use Ultra Black or some pipe dope. I'm going to read some more forums and kind of get some advice of the old timers, but I'm going to run with that on this intake manifold so I don't have to run into those problems again. And that'll be that. So definitely make sure you guys use your use sealant on the intake manifold installation instead of just using the gasket and just putting the bolts in. I also went on ahead. This was a royal pain in the ass. Right here at the front of the motor, you'll see, let me try to grab my light so I can show you real quick. Right here at the front of the motor, this radiator hose and bypass hose, you wouldn't believe how difficult it is to get that radiator hose and that bypass hose in, because if I set my light here, you can kind of see how tight of a fit those two hoses make against each other. You would think that you could just kind of wedge them in there and get it to fit right, but it's such a tight fit because these are thick-walled hoses that it just makes it an absolute bear. I had to use silicone, and really, I mean, just this little spot right here, it took me about an hour and 20 minutes to get all set and installed correctly with the band clamps and everything else. So that's really what took up most of my time today, getting all that kind of put back together. And it's just funny how, like, every little tiny piece of the motor, it takes so much care and attention to detail. you know, and then as you know, once you look at it as a whole, you're like, damn, I can't believe every little tiny thing took that long to do. So also in the process of doing that, I'll show you what I screwed up. This is a nitrous fitting that supplies the fuel from the solenoid into the flange up there at the carburetor, and stupid me thought that this male end of this pre-made hose was a separate piece, and I marred it up real bad with the pliers. I was holding it, trying to I was gonna try to break this, you know, this nut piece loose from the flared end, and then I realized that it's all in one piece, you know, and there's no swivel here, so yeah, stupid me, fucked that up. That's about a $12 part. I had about a 2-week wait time on this 3AN hose, so probably gonna end up making one myself, but that sucked. Live and learn. So that's kind of what went on today. I'm gonna try to keep doing more frequent videos so I can update you guys. Next phase in the game is, like I said, gonna be retorquing or putting the sealant on all these intake manifold bolts and retorquing them down to proper specs. And then I'm gonna start putting the pulleys back on the belts. Then I gotta rewire up the radiator fans, clean up some of the wiring up here in the front of the motor. So, you know, and then I got my, you know, wiring here and there that needs to be cleaned up. So that's kind of what's going on in a nutshell. I'll try to keep this video short and sweet, but yeah, guys, just keep wrenching. Gotta love it. Gotta love the labor of love, and always try to keep your shop clean. It's just so much nicer when I can look around and I actually have floor space, and I'm not gonna fall, trip, and break my neck over shit that I've left out. So, all right, guys, happy wrenching. Talk to you later.